This conference will now be recorded.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have a quorum here. Running a few minutes behind, I apologize. 9:36, I will call this meeting to order. That's the first item. Second item is opportunity for public comment. Do you have anyone from the public who wishes to speak?
Is there anybody online that wishes to speak, Callie?
We have 11 people online, but no comment.
Okay, thank you.
All right, action item number 3, action item regarding approval of minutes from the April 15th, 2026 meeting. Have a motion to approve. Mayor Adams, and second, Harold.
Missed it right.
Oh, that's right. You've been demoted. Sorry.
I feel promoted.
I have a motion, second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Approve, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 4 is a discussion action item regarding approval of the draft fiscal year 27 through 30 transportation improvement program and amendments to the 2050 Metropolitan Transportation Plan and Public Engagement Plan. And Callie, this one's yours.
All right, yes, so quite a mouthful. We're amending 3 plans here. I'll start with our FY 27 to 30 tip. This is our new tip. You can go ahead and go to the next slide. We're adding 18 new highway projects. And then if you go to the next slide, the biggest change that you will have seen, since we brought this for you last, is we moved, I believe, these projects up on the screen on here to our group project listing. This is just so that way programming and planning can be further expedited. It's not going to change any of the funding categories or any of the timing. Everything will be as it was. We're just moving them to the group project listing. So within the TIP document, you'll see them in that listing, and also within the MTP listing, it will be in the back, and they're all listed individually, but just under the group project listing. That's the major change. We did that at text docs request because these projects qualified for those, and it just kind of helps with the planning process. If we go to the next one, we'll also be adding 28 new transit projects to this list as well. All of those are in your packet. And then next slide. For the MTP listing, we are adding 2 new projects to the MTP listing. These projects were submitted during the 2023 project scoring process, but for one reason or another oversight, they were not included within the list. So we're just making our list whole by adding these in to the listing. And we are also deleting 3 projects as the city of Belton requested. And then we have a few administrative amendments as well into MTP listing. We're just moving those projects up into a new fiscal year so that way it can be included within the UTP. And then within the our public engagement plan, whenever we were doing the federal certification review, we realized we needed to have language added for our processes for tribal coordination. And then next slide is also for housing and just in general the federal certification process. So we've amended our public engagement plan to include language to be able to have a procedure for how we will handle each of those entities. And so if you go to the next slide, I will hand over to Anita. We have completed our public engagement process for the TIP, MTP, and the PEP. So I'm going to hand it over to her to discuss that.
Thank you, Callie. Do you mind going to the next slide? And one more, please. We had several rounds of public engagement for this amendment, and one of the new items that we used was story maps, and we just sort of whipped that together really quick, and we're super excited about that platform in the future. For this particular public engagement, we had 268 views on the story map, so people could go and dig deep and learn a little bit more about each of those amendments. Do you mind going to the next slide? And overall, there was an overall approval of all the amendments inside of the CHIP, inside of the MTP, and inside of the transit plans. We did have one conversation with the gentleman in Coppers Cove that was opposed to one of the projects in Coppers Cove. That information has been forwarded to the city of Coppers Cove and all of the partnering jurisdictions that would be able to make changes to that or address it. And he did respond back and thanked us for our commitment to having two-way conversations about the plan and about our amendments, even though we weren't able to, he understood that our role is not to change anything, but to open conversations. And so this is a little synopsis of what took place. I'm always grateful when city staff and consultants show up to help move these types of public meetings along. In Coppers Cove, we had 4 in attendance and 1 elected official. Dale, thank you so much for showing up and being a partner with me there. And then in Harper Heights, we had 2 staff members and a consultant, and we also had the City of Clean engineer show up with us. And as you can see, the Facebook posts, we did something a little different with the Facebook posts. We leveraged sharing and liking, and those really turned out really well. We had an overall engagement rate of 9.07, and for government work, that's excellent. Y'all have any questions about our process, how we took that out to the public?
All right, thank you. Anything else, Callie, Anita? This is an action item.
Yes, sir. I would entertain a motion to approve the draft tip and amendments to the NTP.
Chair, I move, I'll make a quick comment first.
Sure.
I'll second it, and then we can do this.
Okay, so I move that we approve.
No, he's already moved.
Yeah.
Oh, you, oh.
I did, thanks.
And motion second now.
Maybe.
I was gonna say that a lot of people didn't know what KTMPO was until you guys started doing more community engagement. I think doing this has made it clear. They don't think that we're the big people that have all the money in the sky. We just try to figure out how to do it. And I think these engagements have improved that image that we have.
Yeah, our public engagement, I mean, it's an active process. We're not just throwing stuff out there online and seeing who finds it. We're going out in the community. And thanks to all the staff for doing that. And we'll continue to do so. Any other questions, comments?
Yeah, if you could go back, you said that there were a couple of projects removed.
Yes, from the MTP listing, there are 3 Belgian projects that will be removed from the MTP listing.
Where is it?
Right there on that slide.
And what's the estimated cost?
That's how much that it was allocated to it when they were.
I just want for everybody to know, we are taking money away so we can spend it other places. And who did that? I just wanted to make a point. We don't government always want to have a handout and get more money spent. We want to put it in the right projects. So anyway, just from the city of what?
We're all looking for other funding sources. Not just kidding.
And that just goes to elevate what Mr. Reed always says about SIGCOG, is that what's good for the city of Belton is good for Cove and Kempner and Troy. So thank you. Thanks for pointing that out.
It's a big team.
Anybody else?
No, I.
All right, I have a motion second on the floor. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same side. Motion carries. Item number 5, discussion action item regarding approval of the draft regional active transportation plan. And Anita, this one's yours.
Thank you so much. We've been working on this regional active transportation plan since September of 2024. And it's been quite a long journey to get here today. one of the greatest pleasures that I've had is really taking this out to the public and looking not only just the public, but our stakeholders and how everyone is really excited to think that a vision could be accomplished with the idea of being able to safely walk, bike from Kempner up to Troy somehow by using our parks, by using existing sidewalks and trails, and creating some type of plan that will elevate active transportation in our region. Do you mind? So today we're asking for approval of that draft regional active transportation plan. Y'all have all looked at it. The final product is going to look a little bit different than the draft because we've taken out some of the figures and made them into appendices to make the plan a little bit more clear and to take out information that is important, but sort of might get lost in the narration of our plan. Do you mind going to the next slide? There is that is the QR code for the draft plan. And then that's the digital map, the 3-mile work, walk, and play idea that the plan is really developed around. Do you mind going to the next slide, please? So our survey results, the first round of surveys we took out to the public was in 2025 for about a 30-day period. We had 70 responses there. And then the second round was when we actually completed that draft plan, and we had 79 responses there. We had 1 response by email, and overwhelmingly, our citizens out of the 79 respondents, they said that they would use active transportation if it was safe and could get them to where they needed to go in their community. You mind going to the next slide, please? So this right here is the biggest part, and I would say almost the most important part besides the history of our plan. It's what we're going to be doing moving forward. And there's an implementation table inside that last chapter of the plan. And this is what it looks like in a graphic form. Our goal is to advance best practices to deliver a connected, safe, and vibrant active transportation network. That's going to be your sidewalks, your trails, connecting parks, connecting lakes to neighborhoods, to parks across town. Funding competitiveness, this is very important. And when we come together as a group, as a region, we're better together, once again, but that makes us more competitive for funding when we go out for federal and state grants. And we want to integrate those parks and trails. We want to conduct a, do you mind going back? Thank you. We want to conduct a regional trail study and partner with Texas State Parks. We are getting a new state park in Land Passes, and we have Mother Neff on near Temple. And so trying to connect all those together. We want to use data-driven strategies to reduce conflicts and improve safety. That goes back to our Vision Zero and complete streets. We always want to take everything we're doing out to the public and our stakeholders and ensure that everybody, that we're working out the plan that y'all want to see. These, you know, we might have a vision, but anything that happens moving forward is what y'all want to see. The connectivity, we want to create continuous routes linking key destinations, schools, grocery stores for safe and seamless travel. And this is a big one right now, trail tourism and economic development. There's opportunity to improve our economy by having activities and events and trails that produce income and increase tax revenue. And then once again, data and technology. We want to improve emergency responses through standardized trail 911 wayfinding use and use pedestrian and bicycle count technology to identify gaps and prioritize safety improvements. So this is like the next phase of what we'll be looking at in our plan. And do you mind going to the next slide? Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. You can go back. Sorry, that's all I got. No, so we're really looking forward to having y'all approve the plan. we're, like I said, we're tweaking. We've got looking at some figures to make sure all my figures in there are correct. The images that we're using and some grammar, just double checking for grammar. And then we'll get that final plan out to y'all.
So there would be no material, like, changes to the plan. I hope everybody's had a chance to review it. Anita and ATAC have worked really hard on this. And they've made a plan that can actually, that will feed in and inform the MTP development. But the most important thing is this is something that can be implemented, and it's not a plan that's just going to be set up on a shelf, and then we'll come back to you in 2 years and say, hey, we got another plan we're going to put up on the shelf to collect more dust. This is something that Anita and ATAC, of course, have moved forward with, determining items and areas where implementation can actually happen, and that's what they'll be working towards, is following the board approving the plan. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the ATAC did approve / recommend approval of the plan for the
Yes.
meeting. So it's moved through the process, and now here it is, results consideration.
And TAC did as well.
Okay, I would entertain a motion. Mayor, move that we approve the draft regional active transportation plan as.
Second.
Mayor Lopez first, with Dale, Councilman Treadway second. Any discussion?
Yeah, just a quick comment. Stands here with TxDOT as they're looking at the I-35 expansion between Belton and Temple. It's going to be able to, I mean, right now, it looks like we're going to be able to connect several of the parks. So you'll get Bend of the River connected to our bike trail along Millen Creek. I mean, you'll actually be able to go from Loop 363. I don't know, I haven't looked at the plans east of I-35, but you'll be able to go from Loop 363 all the way down to the Expo Center and over to Mayor Hart Baylor. Anyway, just really good job of everybody. Appreciate TxDOT working with us on that. It's a different pot of money.
Yeah.
So
The feds seem to be pretty interested in it as well, so they're running a lot of it. Any other comments? Motion and second on the floor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 6, discussion action item regarding approval of citizen representatives for the Active Transportation Advisory Committee. Anita, this is yours as well.
Thank you. When we were out doing public engagement for the Regional Active Transportation Plan, I met a young man, Mr. Peterson, Parker Peterson, and he was very interested in getting involved. So he attended our ATAC meeting at the beginning of May, or mid-May, I should say, and he requested to be a pedestrian citizen representative. And ATAC did recommend approval. All actions inside of our committee, since we're advisory, have to be bumped up for your approval. And so today we're seeking approval from the policy board to name Mr. Parker Peterson as a pedestrian citizen representative on ATAC.
I wish to move to approve the recommendation of Mr. Peterson as assistant representative.
Second. Motion to approve, second. Councilman Treadway, any discussion? How many vacancies do we have on that?
Okay, this is off the top of my head. I think that we have 3 municipalities. Temple recently became vacant when Jason transitioned over to the city of Killeen. We have 2, I think, county vacancies. And so right now, our citizen representation is about equal with our municipalities. We just got Fort Hood on board, so we're excited about that. And I think that would cover maybe 3 municipalities and 2 county seats.
So they're all citizens, they're not electeds, correct?
No, like the city of Belton, Parks and Rec, Joe Dyer, he's our vice chair. Kara, she's with the Texas State Parks and Wildlife. She is our chair. We have a lot of strong leadership. Coppers Cove, Jeff Stoddard, he's with the city of Copper's Cove Parks and Rec.
But it's not required to be a citizen, it could be a staff member or a
Yes.
citizen.
Yes, we specifically, we have 20 spaces on that committee. And we would really love the municipalities to drive it. But in the past, it was a little bit more challenging. So we opened it up to citizens.
And the appointments from cities and counties don't need to come before this board. They're
Right.
just the citizens.
So you can let us know if there's any new vacancies, just send an email to us and we can.
Yeah, I can send y'all the list of the members and where the vacancies are at.
Yeah, let us know. We'll fill those that we need to fill.
Yeah. And also Hill Country Transit District, they're on there. They just recently, about 6 months ago, joined us.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We shall let Mr. Parker know that he's got work to do now.
Yes, he does.
Okay. Item number 8, discussion item regarding yearly update on speed sign loaner program usage.
I think
Verification.
we're
Oh,
on.
did I miss one?
So,
Well, I'm the chair. I can decide what order. Item 7, we'll back up one. Item 7, discussion item regarding NHTSA early estimates for 2025 traffic fatalities. David.
Yeah, so every year, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration puts out preliminary estimates of traffic fatality trends, and it's basically just offering this is of their foresight into data that will get finalized kind of a little bit later into the year. So yeah, the data that they get from their software, the crash records and information system, is really good for safety analysis, performance measuring, targeting, all of that. So recently they released their updated 2025 estimates and finalized their 2024 fatality data. So looking up there, the estimated fatalities from 2025 are, it's 6.7% down from the finalized 2024 fatality numbers, which themselves were down 4.3% from 2023. So overall slight decrease the trend there, which has been declining for 15 consecutive years. Serious injuries were down at a smaller rate, 2.42 million, which is just down 1%. And that's the finalized 2024 number. The fatality rate going from 2024 to the estimated 2025 number is 1.19 to 1.1. And it's not displayed up here, but the fatality rate is higher in rural regions than in urban regions. That's just kind of a general trend that the data reflects. As for crash types themselves, there's a total decrease across the board, whether it's vehicles, trucks, pedestrians, bikers, all that. It's showing that it's down from 2024 to 2025 across the board, or across the board. And these are just general kind of national high-level numbers, but it does reflect trends that we do see in more specific regional data, specifically when we come to urban versus rural differences. In rural areas, you have higher crash rates, higher fatality rates. But yes, the data is out there. It's public now, and it can this information used in several different ways, mostly to just be aware of trends. You can use it for project development, safety analysis, various other uses for it. But yeah, overall, just looking at the estimated 2025 numbers from last year, it's continuing that decrease that we've been seeing for a couple of years now.
Anyone have any comment? Yes, sir.
Do we know when the text estimates will come out for 2025? Or when they'll be finalized?
Be finalized. I'm not sure. I believe it's in June or July, but not sure off the top of my head. I'll look back into that.
Thank you.
And then how is NHTSA so sure of their numbers when TxDOT hasn't given them any yet?
Okay. It is.
How does that work exactly?
Well, I guess Well, for the 2025 numbers, it's just estimates that they haven't completely finalized yet. The finalized numbers are from 2024, so they're using the TxDOT data on that. They're factoring that in. 2025 is just from their own modeling, from kind of what's been reported so far. So it's just kind of a general number that they're giving, and it'll be finalized next year.
Any other comments, questions? All right, if not, now we'll get to item number 8, discussion item regarding yearly update on speed sign loaner program usage and presentation of data. David, this is your cue.
Yeah, so for the past about 2 years, we've had a speed sign loaner program that provides portable radar speed signs that can measure, a number of different traffic data points, speed in an area, traffic volume, average speed on a road, things like that. The program is intended to be able to bolster safety analysis, enforcement. If there's an area that like that a lot of speeding's going on, a sign can, kind of catch some people up, get them to slow down. Project development, it can be used in grant applications, and it just gives an extra data point for cities and counties to use. So we've had the speed signs available for some time, and this was it was intended that every year we would come back and provide information about the speed sign loaner program using the data that we've gathered. However, in the past couple of years, we haven't actually loaned out any of these speed signs, and that's for a number of reasons. I'd say the main one is just general awareness. It's a program that we've really significantly used. We got the speed signs, I think, around when I started here, around July of 2024, and it just kind of became one of those, we had to learn how to use the speed signs and kind of figure out how we were going to loan them out and everything like that. And I think around all of that, we never actually got around to really advertising that we had these and the uses that they had and things like that. So now we're trying to spread awareness that we have these. We are able to give these out to cities, to counties, that for them to use to collect this speed information, use it for enforcement, data collection, if they want to use it for their grants, whatever. But yes, we're encouraging cities and counties of the region to identify and identify known speeding locations, whether it's school zones, neighborhoods, areas where there's a lot of complaints, and deploy these signs to whether it's, like I said, as kind of a deterrence method to get people to slow down because they see, hey, my speed's being projected, or if you just want to use it for data collection to help support a safety project that you're wanting there. We encourage to identify some of those locations and apply, or reach out to me, contact me. I know the Bell County Sheriff's Department, they reached out last Friday, and I got in contact with them, and we're gonna, I think this week, hopefully looking to hear back from them. But really all around the region, we have these signs for you all to use. We have about 12 of them. I can come out and kind of show whoever wants to use them, how to set them up, how to gather information, how to collect and tabulate all the information for that. I'm just kind of wanting to reiterate that we do have these signs. They collect a lot of good information, willing to use. If any of y'all are interested or know someone who might be interested, just reach out to me and I can get a speed sign loan arranged.
So you said you have 12 of them?
Yes, we have about 12 of them.
They're located where? Where do you store
We
them?
just here in the
Right
building.
here? Okay. And then what's utilization of those 12 at this point? I mean, are we 10% of the time?
Zero. They're sitting up on the shelves right now.
Okay. I'll talk to the city of Belton police. We would help assist TxDOT and the county on a lot of roads that are here and around Belton. And so I think we could probably start using those because you guys all used a road here, and there's a couple of them where we probably do have more accidents than others and speed. We could at least use them at some of them, probably keep them busy. And I think collecting data, so that way at least you get some data that you can start analyzing even if it's just regular data. So
Right,
is there, so the last question I have is, of the data you're collecting, who's aggregating it, analyzing it, making policy decisions on it, or is it just collected and goes into the ether?
It's collected, and there's a centralized database that we have that we would allow everyone to access and use for their own purposes. So yeah, you'd have full access to a database to use as you wish.
Yeah, there's a lot of data on the internet that I don't access, even though it's free, because I don't have a plan to access it. I'm guessing what I'm driving at is, okay, we've got it, we collect data, we like to analyze. I've got a scale at the house to step on every day. It doesn't mean I'm gonna obey what it says.
So the purchase of these was intended so that we could inform our safety planning metrics.
Yep.
But if the city wants to use that to inform some of their policy.
That's what I'm getting at, is who is it that's gonna take the data and think about it?
So we'll have it and we will bring the data to this board.
Okay, so you have somebody on staff that will take that
For
data.
regional safety planning efforts and.
That's what I was going with. That's where.
If the city would have somebody on staff, they'd like to do something for the city, they'll have access to the data as well. So.
And if you have, from that standpoint, if you know that there's areas that are safety issues, it'd be good to ask, like, hey, you should ask us to put one of these on that road.
Well, yeah, and I think we all started with the best of intentions, and instead of collecting data, now they're collecting dust. So we now are realizing, hey, we need to get these out there. We are urging the communities to reach out. If you have areas that you've identified, please let David know. Like he said, he's happy to come out there and walk through the process. It was quite a process to get them figured out. You should have seen David speeding through the parking lot trying to figure it out. So, but I think we've got it. We're happy to provide assistance where we can. We have an interlocal agreement that goes along with the sign. So there's still a process. But we're happy to work through it. We just want everybody to be aware that it is a resource that's there. We got $50,000 from Tech Stock for safety planning. We purchased these signs with that $50,000 so that we could inform our safety planning efforts as we move forward.
I do want to point out that when we voted to authorize that payment, it was almost unanimous. So got to dime out my fears in this room that we will all try to use it.
I think, like David said, it was a good idea. We got it, but it just kind of is something that slid to the back burner.
I'd like to get more information about that if I can. This is Greg Reynolds and Bell County. If I can get the contact information for the gentleman who was talking about it, I'd like to get more details on the specifics of the system. I have several areas that might be useful in my precinct. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll get that sent out to you.
Yeah, and, the county finally got an engineer hired, and I've got the engineer and the sheriff. That's why the sheriff's calling, because I've got the engineer and sheriff pairing up to start counting some of our county roads. So we're on that, Greg. Talk to Pete if you got any particular roads that you want checked out. But, we're gonna probably have quite a few of these going over the next year. We're doing a lot of planning on our county roads right now as well. Any other discussion?
So the data they collect, what data are they taking a picture of license plates? Is it just speed data? I mean,
It's just data.
So the number of counts of cars and how
Speed, yeah, there's no, and it, of course, it shows you your speed limit. A lot of people will speed through an area. I'm guilty as well. When you don't see the speed limit sign, and then you're like, well, all right.
And are these advanced where they collect Bluetooth signatures so they know it's the same vehicle or different vehicles? I know that some.
That I don't know.
Okay.
These ones are rather simple. They don't collect any heavy data like that. It's just volumetric. It's just, hey, car passed. This is the speed that it was going at. It just collects that. They're meant to be simple, easy to use, easy to set up. So it's not hyper specific, but it does give kind of a broad idea.
And when the community pushes back and says, "Oh my gosh, they're filming us, they're recording our license plates," you can say these don't have that ability.
It's not a flock camera.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to add that another opportunity to use these speed loaner signs is if you have a major event in your community and you're trying to figure out a flow of traffic, you have a new senior citizen center and how much traffic is going there, the speed of the traffic, just another option.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other comments? Okay, let's move on to item number 9, also discussion item regarding the draft federal certification report and acknowledgements.
I will have to ask one more question. Can we legally put them on any road?
Your road.
Your road.
Your
Okay,
right.
so is Main Street our road or TxDOT? Because
I think we would have to
317.
coordinate.
I guess that's the thing, is which roads? We just need to work with TxDOT on, like, if it's Loop 121, which is TxDOT, I mean, almost all of our roads, I think, are states. So, okay, we'll work with. I just didn't want to get us in trouble putting road. Right.
When did that ever stop you before, Dick?
I'm old enough to ask that.
All right. Item number 9, you're on.
All right, as everybody may or may not recall, I've been talking about the draft federal certification review or the federal certification review for about the past 4 or 5 months. We actually had the certification review with Federal Highways here in the building. It was a 1.5 day event of pure joy and bliss for everybody that got to participate. What we've compiled in the packet is the draft report that we received. The last time we went through this effort, it took us 1.5 years to get a draft report. So I'm pleased that our Federal Highways rep was able to turn this around so rapidly. There are no findings in this report. There are some recommendations. What I really want to point out to the board, I believe begins on page 126 of your packet. And it is the, well, I could be wrong. It is a letter of appreciation that we received from Federal Highways. I printed this out and I shared it with all staff, of course, and the COG executive director. But I wanted this board to be aware of the work that the staff, the KTMPO staff put into this federal certification review, which, is identified in this letter of appreciation from Federal Highways. They were very pleased with our processes. They were very pleased with what we are doing here as an MPO. This was one of the best federal certification reviews that Kirk has ever done, and he's been with Federal Highways for over 30 years. Him and Tony with the FTA both agreed on that this certification review almost was seamless, and they really didn't identify any major areas of concern. They identified specific staff in the letter of appreciation and what they provided in regard to the federal certification review. They even came back a day later and said, oops, we forgot somebody. Here's an email to ensure that he was included for the freight planning activities. Like I said, I just wanted to bring this to everybody's attention. There's no action needed on this. A lot of people in this room participated in that certification review. And like I said, it was a really good process this time. I can let Commissioner Whitson speak to the public event we had, or the stakeholder event. It was the only public hearing / public meeting that Federal Highways has ever seen anybody attend. And we had about 30 people there. And that, that really is attributed to staff. Anita's hard work was called out a lot of the documents for our public involvement efforts. We really shine in that. They are probably going to use some of that for best practices to share with other NPOs across the country. They were really pleased that we actually had people attend that, and we didn't just have 30 Chick-fil-A sandwiches that had to go home with staff. I do love the Lord's chicken. We're digressing here, but I'll let Commissioner Whitson speak to it. He was at the event, or anybody else that would like to speak to that process. But like I said, I really just wanted to highlight what staff did for this review and how pleased Federal Highways was with it.
I would say more than pleased, they were borderline shocked at the folks that showed up. They were surprised that everybody was there. We already knew we had the best staff of any NPO in the country. Certainly that reflects leadership as well, Ryan. So I know he's being humble about it, but the fact that our staff do the work that they do and they're capable of doing the work that they do certainly reflects Ryan's dedication to the NPO as well, and picking good people and trying to make himself look as good as he can by getting the right people on his team. So he's been very, very good at that. We appreciate him for that. My discussions with those folks, it was an interesting vibe. They were here to judge us, no question. And they drilled into a lot of things. But every time they drilled into something, it's like, oh, it wasn't well, let me talk. It was, well, that's even better than what you had to do. And again, to Ryan's point about Anita's work, that I think the fact that we were so transparent and proactively going out into the community and making sure that everybody saw everything that we were doing is something they don't see very often, or even at all. And I think all government entities are kind of guilty of that. We put information out where the law says we need to put it out, try to be transparent in accordance with law, and certainly do that in this area pretty well. But the MPO goes above and beyond that and really works to make sure we put it in people's faces and say, hey, this road's going to matter to you. You need to pay attention and you need to give us input so we get it right the first time. We don't have opportunity to spend money and then need to respend additional monies to fix problems that we didn't get right the first time. So we're trying to be as efficient as we can with every federal dollar. And I think they saw that and appreciated that. And again, we're shocked at that because we're not just a group of people spending money that they send down to us. We're a group of people that are trying to be as effective and efficient with every single dime that we get from them, because we're growing so fast. We feel like we don't have a choice. That's what we have to do here. And they were very, very pleased with that attitude from all of the policy board, TAC group, and all the citizens that came in and looked at that as well. So it went very well. Appreciate the staff and Ryan's work, and all of y'all too. All of us have to contribute to that. With that mentality and ideal, as we go through these meetings, we'll hopefully keep that high level of exceptionalism moving forward with the MPO to take care of our citizens and put those dollars where they need to be. Any other questions, comments, discussion on that?
Daryl, did you receive any additional feedback from Tony with FTA on the review process?
Yeah. I want to echo what you guys just said. It was exceptional. And in fact, that public meeting was right here in this room. And there was so many good things said about KTMPO that evening. So the next day when they interviewed transit, I was there. And the interview went great. And then both Tony and Kurt pulled me aside and we were just talking. And somewhere in that conversation, they asked me, they said, hey, I want to ask you, was that real last night or were you guys just blowing smoke up? That's a quote. And I told them, no, that was very, very real. That's truly how this Legion operates. And they were just extremely impressed. And they did. They echoed to me that they never run into that. This was the only place that that's happened. It was great.
They didn't offer you extra money, did they?
We did ask. We made sure to ask. We tried to close the sale every chance we got.
Like I said, other than that, I really didn't have anything else on that item. I wanted to provide everybody with the draft report. I know the transit district is also called out in the report for the micro transit initiative. Although it's, not the MPO, the coordination efforts of micro transit and some of the funding, they took that into account.
Okay. Next item, item number 10, discussion item regarding public input received through the previous month. Anita?
Thank you. The actual federal certification review closes out this Friday, so there's still an opportunity for public comment. Fingers crossed there. And this month is actually National Bike Month. So our communities have actively participated in that. On Saturday, May 9th, Coppers Cove held their first adaptive bike rodeo. And we received a stellar report on how that activity went. Do you want to share a little bit, Debs? I know you were there.
Yeah, I just thank Anita for putting this together, but I just want to thank Casey from Parks and
Yeah.
Recs and her staff putting this together. They had one individual come out there and tune up all the bicycles, kids could ride around for a bit, and we actually had a bike course that they could do in the parking lot. And also, like thank Adam for keeping Coppers Cove beautiful. I mean, she helped while she was out there, and then a few of us were out there. We had a good attendance. The kids really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Dylan. If you're not familiar, an adaptive bike rodeo is going to be catering to individuals that have Down syndrome, are visually impaired, they might have a limb loss. So, and Casey, she was approached by a citizen to host that, and she pulled it off. It was magnificent. They had over 50 participants come out. And so I asked her, I was like, the number one question, did you have fun? And she said she had a blast. And the second one was, are you going to do it again? And they said next year they will do it again during National Bike Month. And then her biggest win was seeing these children push their bikes into the event and then ride off, because many of them did not know how to ride a bike.
I do have one out, but I'd like to thank Walmart down in Coppers Cove. They donated 2 bikes, one for the boy and one for the girl. So,
Anita, the federal certification public input period that ends Friday,
Yes.
are you receiving those, or those just go to federal highways?
Originally, they requested that those go to the federal highways, but our technology didn't allow me to set up a program and make it go to them. So I'm receiving them and then blindly, I'm trying not to look at them or read them and forward them on, but we haven't had any comments regarding that. So what I do is I take the social media and not demographics, the social media KPI, and forward that information on.
Okay, thank you.
So known to us, when we don't get a response, no angry faces on our social media is a win.
Gotcha.
Also, regarding National Bike Month, y'all, tonight, May 20th, is the Ride of Silence, and that's a national initiative to recognize individuals' lives who were lost or they were significantly impaired because they were hit while riding a bike. And so this year we did a little bit different campaign. Do you mind going to the next slide, please? One more slide, please. So we really wanted to focus on not just report out numbers of people who have died because they were riding their bike somewhere in our region. We wanted to find out their story. And even though we did not receive any information from this, we're going to use this campaign next year. And it's basically the hashtag is who do you ride for? And so we want to find out the stories behind the lives of those that were lost. We'd like to know, once again, their story, but also what you could be riding for safety. You could be riding for a crosswalk or a trail or an access point. So we're looking at that. And down past Nolanville by that storage unit place, I'm sorry, I don't know the name. There's a ghost bike of an individual. His name is Terrell, and he was killed several years ago. So, I mean, this does happen in our region, and we do want to honor his life. And so if you can make it or share our posts regarding this event tonight, it's the Ride of Silence. Next slide, please. Oh, I guess it's not there, but it's the Ride of Silence. And it's tonight. It begins at 6:30 at City Hall, Nolanville City Hall.
Anyone else have any comments? If not, we'll move to the director's update, item number 11. You're right.
All right, let me try to get myself in order here. We have the upcoming dates for the meetings on the screen there in the packet. Of course, the July 15th, 2026 meeting may need to be rescheduled, and that's due to the Tech Stop Planning Conference in Austin. We'd like to have staff attend that, so we may need to reschedule the July policy board meeting. Of course, all meetings are scheduled for here at 9:30. Other updates, reauthorization. It's kind of the AMPO tempo update / reauthorization. Received an email. I received multiple emails 2 days ago, just in time for this meeting, letting us know that the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee has released base text for the next Surface Transportation Reauthorization Bill, tentatively called the Build America 250 Act. The materials, of course, they provided us links to some of the materials, and we're happy to share that with you. Callie can send the links to that out. Of course, if you like to read, the bill is a little over 1,000 pages. So, and I know everybody in here has a lot of spare time. So, I mean, if you'd like to read it and let us know what you think, that'd be great. But AMPO and NARC and NLC and the LOT Coalition, they are all actively analyzing this bill and what it means for MPOs as well as RPOs across the nation, what the funding impacts could be. There's a lot of emphasis on bridges and a lot of infrastructure emphasis on safety and capacity. So just wanted to let everybody know that I know we've been talking, the bill will be, dropped in March or February, then March, then April. Well, it has actually dropped now. So it's actively going through the process. They did say that committee markup will likely be held this Thursday. So they're monitoring all of that and will provide an update. So hopefully at the June meeting, we'll have more on reauthorization and what that looks like for MPOs or the proposed reauthorization. So open to any questions on that. If not, I think my last update would be air quality. Is that on the slides? Our air quality readings were 61 and 66 parts per billion, which keeps us in attainment. So we don't have any of the air quality planning activities that we're required to participate in that are very cumbersome, and not only for us, but for TxDOT and at the federal level. Any questions on the director's update?
With this reauthorization bill, does AMPO or anyone else have any feelings on what way the leadership in Washington is going as far as the funding? On that, I know we were pushing to try to get some of that funding sent to us locally rather than going through the states.
So Cat 7 actually, which is the STBG, STPMM dollars, there is a provision in there for direct recipient. I don't know at this point in time that it would be something that KTMPO, I think the mechanism that we have right now with the state works well, but there could be some MPOs that actually go for that direct recipient status. It's going to be a rolling thing. So if KTMPO were to say, we'd like to explore this, I think there would be a lot to work through because the mechanisms that, like I said, that we already have in place, I think it would muddy the water for a lot of the MPOs in Texas. That was really put in there, for MPOs that don't have the type of relationship that we have, and smaller areas, Rhode Island, Connecticut, those types of areas who are always butting heads with the state and what the funding looks like. Do I always agree with what the state does with our funding? Absolutely not. But do we have a good partnership? 100% we do. And we can have those conversations. So I think we're a little different than what the intent of that was for. That being said, if a city were to come to the MPO and say, let's explore that, we would start the conversation. But I don't think it would be something that would be implemented, immediately.
I know when we were drafting comments and input for this bill from NLC, which the name has changed, of course. We did push for more funding for cities, MPOs, and more funding for states at the same time. But also, if it's a way where like specific cities, like Ryan was speaking, maybe certain KTMPO that are certain size, certain cities. And the feel I got from talking to some of my delegation is that is a possibility. And I'm sure they seem open to it. It may help that some of you guys send letters of support about where you stand to our delegation, a huge delegation in Congress, half of which I think serve on either Ways and Means or the Transportation Committee. But I think there's a general feel to do, because we did sell the point that cities maintain a lot of the road network, don't have the money for it. But I discovered, and I agree with you, Ryan, we have a different relationship, and like not all MPOs are created equal. I think some divine hands was placed on this one to make us better than most of the ones in Texas, if not the country. And so a lot of other MPOs don't even actively engage like ours do. And so that may help us. And so the work we did was really to help other states more so.
And speaking to that, around this table, everybody has a sense of regionalism and understands it and the importance that what's like Anita referred to earlier, what's good for Belton is good for Temple, it's good for Heights, it's good for Co. And we all understand that and work collaboratively to get that message out. A lot of places don't do that. Even if we go directly to our south, they're divided a lot. So we are really good, and like I said, I think some of this stuff in this draft bill is intended for those MPOs and areas that don't have the relationship that we have in our region.
You're right, if I'm not mistaken, there's also supposed to be some provisions to remove some of the bureaucracy required to do that. So this will help us out as well.
That's, I was in DC last week with a group of judges and commissioners. I had opportunity to talk to Pfluger and Carter. The whole group got to talk to Cornyn. Cruz couldn't be found. And I said that on purpose. The sentiment with them was they didn't really have, I didn't get a strong sense one way or the other if they thought we needed to change it or, to put more local or keep sending it to states like they're doing. But they were all unified on the fact that they want to cut some bureaucracy out of it and just get the money to the states. And that there might be some opportunity for larger cities. And when I say larger cities, probably larger than Killeen or any city that we have, even in this town. It's kind of what they were indicating to me. They were talking about like Baltimore and Houston and where the states already invest a lot of money into those areas. And they weren't sure how that would go one way or the other. They were starting those discussions, but they definitely wanted to get the bureaucracy out of it. And that seems to be a push across Capitol Hill, is to try to cut out all these middlemen and get the money where it needs to go instead of funding a lot of federal workers to try to figure out where they want it to go.
And that includes some of the requirements that states are placed on states
too, right,
to add that level.
Right.
Even taking away your 10% cut or whatever that may happen.
Any other comments? All right, well then that brings us to adjournment. Thank y'all for coming. Appreciate your time.
You don't.
Packet is. That's fine.